people call prosperity some kind of twisted doctrine. God wants you to be in good health, and He wants you to prosper. He wants your soul to prosper. He wants the prosperous soul to hit you so much. See, because when you have a prosperous soul, money doesn't matter to you. The more you have, the more you give. I promise you. The more God gives you, the more you funnel, and you just become a giver, and you give, and you give, and you give, and you give. Why? Because God so loved the world that He gave. So that's what we as Christians do. We give. We give. We give. People are like, well, you're just after money. No, God's not after you. He's after you ever being had by money. Money doesn't make the world go round. Jesus does. Do you know when you become a radical giver and you become a radical tither and a radical offerer and a person that blesses people, you actually step into the Abrahamic blessing? The blessing of Abraham.
The blessing of Abraham. Abraham was extremely wealthy, and he had a covenant with God. It's not the Jewish blessing, it's the Abrahamic blessing. God, I get excited talking about it because I love it. And I started out deep in debt with nothing, which is another story. But anyway.
You say that it's biblical and that there's a foundation in the Bible for this.
Let me close it with this. Sure. I had to learn this, like I said, from the Bible and from my spiritual mentor, Oral Roberts. And I learned it from him, working with him, and then he was close friends until he died. And he took the same heat for believing God would prosper you that I've taken over the years. And Abraham was a very, very wealthy man. Galatians chapter 3. If you belong to Christ, then are you Abraham's seed and heirs according to his promise. And his promise was great wealth.
Now people get attitudes with this. Get over you. I could care less what you think right now about this. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me. I love you, but you need to be free. This isn't about hoarding everything for yourself. This is about changing the world through a currency that the devil uses to manipulate. Do you know how much money is going through the hands of pimps and drug dealers?
Yeah, I just got down here blazing something. Yeah, that nigga Cadillac down here.
What the nigga Freddie? Y'all niggas know what the fuck this nigga Freddie at? Tell that nigga.
This world, do you have any idea what the world does with money? What the church could do if the church knew who she was? The devil doesn't ever want you to get a revelation of finances, ever. Because if he does, he loses control of you. You read through the Old Testament. Kenneth Copeland has taught me so much.
And don't you ever say I did.
You guys can think what you want. There's people that have said, I've had partners that are partners with Lifestyle. They're like, well, now that we know that you're in cahoots with this false prophet, we don't want to partner with you.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad for you. I do. I don't need your partnership.
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
It's not about that. See, you don't know that Kenneth Copeland is one of the most generous people alive on the planet. Let me just break it down for you. Do you know who Reinhard Bonnke is? Do you know how many souls that they have in the kingdom right now? Over 76 million souls. Do you know who has paid for their crusades? Kenneth Copeland. Years ago, when Reinhard Bonnke wrote a book about a life of fire, it's like this thick, you will not be able to put it down. At that time, Kenneth Copeland had sowed over $70 million into funding crusades to save all these people. And there are people that are like, well, I don't like him. Who cares about your opinion? I'm really being serious. I love you, but I really don't care if you hate me for this one.
You made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
It doesn't matter.
Didn't know that, did you, babe?
Now I do.
Yeah, you do. Isn't that wonderful?
Well, I guess. It's wonderful for you.
You made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it. I could no longer do what I called to do and be on the airlines. Besides that, I need my clothes when I get there.
And you have some fancy clothes. I mean,
do.
for a pastor, you are living a life of luxury. You've got great homes. You've got great planes. You drive in limos.
I'm a very wealthy man.
You're a very wealthy man.
Yes.
Lucky.
Money!